Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this video breakdown, I want to take a look at a run play from the gun bunch strong offset that's pretty popular, especially on the college side of things, but it can also be ran here in Madden NFL 26 and have a lot of success. The name of the play that we use for this video breakdown is called Gun Bunch Strong Offset QB Crack Sweep. Now, this particular play, as you can see, it is a sweep play with a quarterback, and you can find this only in two playbooks. You can find it in the Cardinals playbook, and you can find it in the Shotgun playbook. All right, so before I get into actually showing the play, I just want to briefly go over the formation real quick. The Gun Bunch Strong Offset. What I want to show here is you got this receiver lined up by himself out wide on the left. Then you have these three guys right here, tied in, plus two receivers. They're in the bunch. And then you got the running back. He's lined up to the right of the quarterback. He's offset and on the strong side. So that's where you get the name of the formation at. All right, what I want to do now is I want to get into this and just kind of talk about how this play can be kind of effective. And then we're actually going to run it here. So as you look at this one, I'm going to go ahead and do this right here and zoom in a little bit. First thing I want to point out is you got a couple offensive linemen that are going to be pulling out here to set up the blocking for the quarterback. So you got the right guard, and then you're also going to have the right tackle coming out here as well. And then you also got the tight end. He's going to be doing some blocking along with the other receivers. Now, the one thing I will say with this, here's the tight end. I'll just show it to you real quick. And then you got these other two receivers. Now, a lot of times these two receivers, what they're going to try to do is draw these defenders down. They're going to try to draw them away and get them, further down the field. So that's something you might see as you watch this. And the last thing I want to point out before I actually run it, this guy right here is the one you really got to look for as he comes off the edges. If he's going to be rushing or blitzing, he's going to be coming off this edge. He could be the one guy that gets to you before you even really get going. So you got to watch for him. A lot of times he'll come around and chase you around the backside and might end up getting you. The only other thing that might happen, I've seen this happen several times, where one of the defensive linemen or one of the linebackers that are blitzing end up shedding the blocking, and they're able to get to the backfield before you even get going. So I want to point that out. All right, what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and run the play, and we'll take a look at it. Before I actually run the play, I'm going to go ahead and call press man coverage on the defensive side of things there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and run this one. I am going to tell you one thing I like to do, and that's to motion this guy out here to the left. And that way it clears out where I don't have any other defender out there on the right-hand side. You can see now I got a lot of real estate as you look at it from over in this area here. I've got a lot of real estate where I can run the ball. Now, ideally, you really probably rather have the ball lined up so on this side here, so you have this whole far side over here to run and pick up a lot of positive yardage. But as it is, I'm just going to run the play like I'm showing here, where I've got it centered, but just keep that in mind. Now, something else I like to do here when I run this, I like to tend to take a dip into the inside and then try to get to the outside. I didn't make it that time. And you probably just noticed that one defender I was talking about earlier is that linebacker or that defensive end coming off the edge. You have to do something to try to get him where he can't get to you, because otherwise he's just going to come off the edge and chase you down. That time I was able to get enough where I could pick up some positive yards and go all the way in for a score. That's the one thing you got to watch for, is that guy right there, because he can be a pain in the butt on this particular play. Something you can do here to try to offset that a little bit is to send this guy in motion and try to start snapping it somewhere there and try to get a block on him. At worst case scenario, make him get picked off by another man, one of his other men, and then you can do that and pick up some positive yardage. So that's something else you can do with this play that makes it pretty effective, especially against this particular play and formation that I'm showing here. We're going to motion one more time. See, I'm trying to snap it. I'm just trying to pick him off. And here again, somebody else at that time got in there. So this play is one of those plays that I can't tell you it's always going to work, but if it does, there's a chance of going all the way in for a score here. So let's go and run it one more time here. So this time I'm going all the way in for a score. And that's what I like about it. It's that high opportunity where you can get in and make a big play out of it. Not all the time, but you know what? There's no play it should work every single time. But this one certainly gets that in there. Let's go and run it one more time here and see if we can get this guy blocked. But right there, we still didn't get it, but I still picked up that positive yardage. So that's something that you got to look for with this particular play, is that it does have an opportunity. What I want to do right now is just go in the X and O's of the play and just take a look at the, actually look at it a little bit more in detail. From the top-down view, we can get a better idea of how this play works as far as the X and O's of the play. Now, right off the bat, the very first thing you're going to notice here is this right here. This is kind of important here. Is this guy right here, this tackle, this defensive tackle, and this running back. This is kind of important as you watch this as far as how this play works. So the first thing you're going to notice is that this guy is actually going to get through pretty quick. He's not going to get blocked because you've got one of the offensive linemen pulling out to the outside. And what happens is the tight end tries to block to the inside here. As you look at it, he tries to go to the inside. Let me put this on the telestrator. He tries to go to the inside here as you look at it, because this offensive lineman here, which is the right tackle, looks to block in this direction here. Now, what happens here is the running back actually ends up picking this guy up. This is what allows me to get the yardage. Now, you're going to notice something else I did on here, and some of you may not want to do this. I think if you take a step in and then work your way to the outside, you're going to get a lot more success with this. A lot of times what will happen is by doing that, it's going to throw off this guy as far as the way he's coming in, as far as getting in there. So that's another reason I do it. And something else we talked about earlier with the motion that I sent this guy in motion, that's something else you can try to do, and that'll try to get that guy to have to take a little farther, wider angle. If you snap it somewhere in there, what you're trying to do again is you're trying to get him, that offensive line, or excuse me, this linebacker, take a little bit of a wider angle to the outside. That way it makes him, he has to work his way a little bit further, giving you enough time to pick up some yards with the quarterback. So there's some things going on there I just wanted to point out. And then we're just going to run through this real quick. And right there you can see I get to the outside. See how I step in? Here's that block I was talking about. Here comes that guy off the edge that you got to watch for, the one I was mentioning earlier. This guy right here. That's kind of important. And you can see the block right there by the running back. Big block right there helps us out, even though he got knocked to the ground. And right there at this point, I have a lot of yards going here as far as that. Once I get to the outside, I mean, there's all kinds of yards to run all the way down the field, as you can see at this point. And that's really what I wanted to show with this play, how nice it is, especially against this defense I've been talking about as far as this nickel 2-4 double mug, the mid blitz zero. If you can get to the outside against this particular defense, then you can pick up a lot of yards. The other thing is you can mix it in. I'm not going to run an actual play here, but you can run, say, let's just audible into another play here. Just imagine this being some play, one of your favorite plays here. You can audible into a run play or pass play and do the same thing and make it look like you're running that play, but then you're not. And then so you got all kinds of things you could scheme off of just this one play, because they got to watch for this. I realized I didn't pick up a touchdown on it the first time I did it, but after that I consistently got yardage. So it's going to be one of those plays that sometimes you're going to get some yardage, sometimes you may end up not picking up as much as you want. So just keep that in mind. So again, anyways, this play is called the gun bunch strong offset QB crack sweep. We're running against the nickel 2-4 double mug mid blitz zero. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment for more Madden Guides, strategy, and tips content. See you in the next video.